Hello everyone, it's Evie here, and today I want to share with you an angelic healing session for returning to the self. And this was inspired by this painting back here. I recently painted it, and this was inspired by somebody asking me what my hobbies are, and I had realized that I haven't really done anything that I enjoy. I haven't engaged in my hobbies in a while, and that made me sad to think about. And the people who I was talking to at that time were like, yeah, I haven't really engaged in my hobbies in a while either, because I've been so focused on working and getting enough money to pay my bills and just survive. And so I went home and I painted this, and it's like the heart chakra. It's called Spark of Self, and it's the heart chakra as a background, or my interpretation of it. And I don't know, the diamonds I like diamonds. I've been drawing diamonds for a long time. It just sort of flowed through me, from the colors to like everything. It just like flowed naturally, and it just felt like a return to who I am, to bringing more joy into my life and doing more things that I love. And that inspired me to create this session so that we can all return to ourselves and start doing more things that we enjoy. Because I'm sure I'm not the only one out there who has just fallen out of my self-love practice, maybe my spiritual practice, just doing my hobbies, things I enjoy. And it's really time to start getting back to who we are at the core, to our most authentic selves. And so I wanted to start this session by cleansing our space and our auric fields. And I'm using this yerba santa, which is the very first cleansing stick I ever got. I just broke it apart. And this is actually part of the first bundle I received, or bought actually. But now just focus your intention on returning to yourself, to cleansing away your day. Allow the smoke to waft over you. Cleanse your aura, your room, your house. And I also want to light a little sage. Hopefully this little bundle actually lights. Okay. I love the smell of sage. Not everybody does, but it's one that I enjoy. But I think Palo Santo is my favorite. But today I kind of wanted to throw it back to where I started. I think I got the yerba santa because that was the first thing I had access to. I came across that before I ever came across sage or Palo Santo. And I had heard of those things, but they weren't in my vicinity for me to buy them. And I guess I could have gone on Amazon or something, but I didn't. Okay, so now that we have cleansed our space and set our intentions, I'd like to choose a number from Angel Numbers. So Thank you, angels, ancestors, spirit guides, guardian angels, spirit animals, helping spirits, for drawing close at this time and helping us to reveal what we need to know for our highest and greatest good as we set the intention to return to ourselves, our most authentic selves, the self that feels good. So the number that I came across is 845, and it says, Archangel Michael is on standby, ready to help you remove any negativity and blockages from your life in a safe and loving way. Call on him now. So I think that's a good one, because oftentimes there are things that kind of block us from being our authentic self. Like maybe you were made fun of as a kid, and that kind of caused you to be a little bit more careful about being who you are. And it's time to cut those cords and remove those blockages, and we will call on Archangel Michael to help us with that. So thank you, Archangel Michael, for being here with us today as we ask you to remove any blockages and negative energy that may get in our way of being our authentic self and being our true self. So thank you. And I brought some crystals, so kind of fitting, black tourmaline. My nose is itchy. Black tourmaline wanted to come out to play today, and that's usually a stone of transmuting energy, of getting rid of anything that is blocking us from our path, from where we want to go. So we want to be our most authentic selves, we want to embody our most authentic selves, then black tourmaline will help us with that. So just envision the energy of it wafting over you. Or you can imagine it, I often imagine it either above me or below me, and it's like a vacuum, and it's sucking up all the negative energy. It's just going in there, all this negative energy, all the blocks, it's going into this stone, and it's going to be transmuted into something beautiful. So all those blockages can go in this with the help of Archangel Michael. And I recently got this crystal. It is opalite, and I explored a new crystal shop in my area. It's not new, I don't think, but it's new to me because I just moved here. So it was really exciting to get to go. I felt more like myself going to the crystal shop, because that's something I've always done in Chicago. It's one of my favorite things. And so to go after like so long of not being able to go to any crystal shop, it was really exciting. I felt more like myself, and it was like a return to self. And I got this crystal. I felt really drawn to it. And it's actually good for calming, helps calm you down and releases negative energy. And it's like a worry stone, so it has like a little divot. I don't know if you can see it at all, but my thumb fits in it pretty nicely, so I can just like have it and hold it and kind of fidget with it. But I brought it out today as a reminder for me of like returning to myself, but to also bring some calming energy into the situation. Because I feel like a lot of the time when we want to do certain things that we would really enjoy, we get scared. That we might feel like, oh my God, what is so-and-so gonna think? What are people gonna think? What if I get made fun of for just doing something that I enjoy, for sharing what I enjoy? And that can be really scary. So this opalite is just gonna help us calm our nerves as we return to ourselves. And just allow its energy to, I wanted to say invade, but that doesn't sound like the right word, to enter your energy body. Allow it to bring the calming, healing energy so that you can feel more comfortable in your own skin. You can feel more comfortable returning to yourself, to being more of who you want to be, who you are on the inside, rather than who other people might be telling you you should be. Their opinions aren't as important unless you put more value into their opinions. What matters is what you enjoy, what you want to do, who you want to be. And I also felt like the rose quartz needed to come out today. I feel like this one has come out a lot recently, but we're dealing with matters of the self and returning to our hearts and ourselves. And I feel like our heart chakras could use some love. So, what better stone to use than rose quartz? And just allow the love to wash over you. Allow it to enter your energy body, fill you up with beautiful, loving, light, healing energy. And just breathe. Breathe in the love, breathe in the healing, the love of yourself. Okay, and the deck I chose for today's session is Angel Prayers. And I'm gonna pull 3 cards for what we most need to know in regards to returning to ourselves, our authentic selves. So choose one. I can kind of see through the viewfinder which cards are coming out. 2 and let's see, 3. Okay. So our strength card is Change and Transition, Archangel Azrael. And it says, "Thank you, Azrael, for leading me safely through this change." And it can be a change sometimes when we are deciding to return to our highest self, deciding to return to being more authentic, because sometimes we're spending so much time being somebody else, being who somebody else wants us to be, or just being afraid to be ourselves, that it can be a big change when we decide, okay, I'm going to be more of myself now. I'm going to do more of what makes me feel good now. And that can be scary, because it's like, well, what if people made fun of me? Because people have made fun of me in the past. And that's true for me, that I've been made fun of in the past just for being myself, for wearing clothes that I like to wear, for putting my hair in ways that I like to put my hair up. And it's just like, oh, well, I don't want to do that now because the other kids are being mean. But you know what? At the end of the day, It's more about what I enjoy doing, what makes me feel good. So I've decided, you know what, I'm not gonna let what other people have said to me keep me from being myself in ways that feel good. So this can be a change, and it can be a big transition for some of you, because we've spent so long denying ourselves of who we are. So call on Archangel Azrael as you're going through this change. If it is harder for you to return to your true self, call on him and he will help you. All you have to do is ask. Because remember, the angels and the spirit guides, they really can't help us unless we ask them for help. They want to help us, but we have free will. So if we're not asking them, then they're not helping us. So ask. They'll be happy to. And it might not happen in a way that you expect, because angels know best. They know what's good for you, what is for your highest good, and maybe that thing that you want might not work out for you as well. So on to the next card. This is the challenge. No, this is the heart card, and it has a heart on it. Connect with music. Thank you, angels, for inspiring me through music. And this is kind of perfect because I personally love music. I love to sing, and I haven't really sang in a while, and I couldn't explain why that is. So for me, it's like return to myself, return to my first passion, my first love, my first hobby has been music. So connecting with music is like connecting with my heart, and that's what makes me feel good. And I'm sure for a lot of you out there, that's the same thing, whether it's playing a guitar, like there's a guitar on the card, so maybe that's what that means for you, or maybe it's singing, or maybe it's just listening to music that you enjoy that makes you feel good, music that speaks to your heart and soul. Whatever that is for you, connecting with music will help you connect with your heart. And our challenge card is the Peaceful Warrior, Archangel Ariel. And it says, thank you, Ariel, for helping me stand my ground with peace. I guess some people say Ariel, but I'm just so used to I don't know. I just say Ariel. And peace is such an important part of being who we are. I feel like it feels like there's so much anxiety building. There's so much turmoil when it comes to being yourself and embodying your authentic, true self, that we forget that peace is a thing, and we forget that we can be ourselves in a way that feels good, in a way that feels peaceful. So it feels like if you want to return to yourself, you're going to have to make peace with yourself. Calm down about it. And I instinctively reached for the opalite of more calming energy to be brought into the situation, because it feels like there's so much anxiety of I can't do this because what is so-and-so gonna think, or what if people don't like me, what if the world blows up or something because I'm being myself, and that's not okay. It is okay. It is perfectly okay to be you as you are. So we're just going to bring these together and bring some calming, peaceful energy into the situation. And that's our challenge, is to embody ourselves with peace and grace. Allow ourselves to become this peaceful warrior, because when you confidently show who you are, embody who you are, and you return to yourself in a way that feels good to you, and you're just comfortable in your skin, then other people are going to see that and be like, oh, wow, that's cool. Maybe now I can be more of who I am. And it'll just be this ripple effect. I guess this reminds me of water too. It could be a little ripple in space and time. So let's just calm our nerves. It can be scary. I often have reservations about like sharing this aspect of myself with people because I don't know what their opinions are. And my spirituality, these healing sessions, it's such a huge part of my life and part of who I am that I get scared of what other people might think. I get scared of like even adding new friends on Facebook and like, oh no, they're gonna see that I share my oracle card readings and I share my YouTube videos on there, and they're gonna see that I'm weird, and that's gonna be weird and scary. But I still do it because this is really what I love to do, and if they don't like it, then that's too bad for them. But that fear definitely comes up for me because I've had people tell me like, oh, you're a devil worshiper. Oh, you're doing something that's really dangerous and you need to stop. I've had people say all sorts of awful things to me that have made me afraid of sharing this aspect of myself with people. But it is who I am. It's a huge part of myself that I feel good about when I'm doing it. And I want to share it with others. So to let those people stop me, it's doing a disservice to being myself and to helping other people, to like fulfilling my purpose. So yeah, I do still get scared, but I don't want to let that get in the way of me being me. So I also felt called to bring out aura sprays that I made. So there's these two. So we have, if that'll focus, it's abundance. Okay, I don't think it's focusing. And we have self-love. And I think I've brought both of these out before in past sessions, but I think I brought out self-love more than I have abundance. And this spray is to bring in more self-love. So I'm gonna spray it over your crown chakra. So allow that mist to waft over you. I'm gonna spray it towards your heart chakra. I'm gonna spray it on mine and on my hand. And this is to bring self-love, self-acceptance of who we are. And this was charged with angelic healing energy. And I do have some of these for sale in a limited quantity, and I'll leave a link for that in the description below. So if any of you are interested. Just take a moment and feel into your heart. What is your heart telling you today? What do you want to do? Is there a hobby you want to engage in? Is there a fear that's coming up for you? Or maybe you're afraid to love yourself and accept yourself. What is your heart telling you right now? I'm seeing like a waterfall or like flowing river. I'm like getting the impression of camping, like I want to go camping. That would be so fun. Go camping if you can. I hope you can, because that would be fun. That would be awesome. It's a great place to unplug from social media, from the internet. Just like get away from it all, especially now. Things have seemed kind of crazy. So it's like going back to nature, the nature of who you are. I like that. And the other spray is the abundance spray. And I felt called to bring this one out because sometimes it's time that might keep us from engaging in our hobbies, or maybe we don't have the resources to engage in our hobbies. So just gonna spray above your head, to the sides and below. Spray myself and spray my hand. So we're gonna call in the abundance angels on this one. And abundance can be more than just money. A lot of times when we think of abundance, we think of money, like we want that moolah. But it is that sometimes, but in this case, I feel like it's resources that we need. Maybe like for my painting, I needed paint, I needed a canvas. I had paint pens, paint brushes, all of that costs money. Those are resources I needed. So if you like painting, this abundance will help bring the resources you need for that. If you want to meditate, you can bring in an abundance of time to be able to meditate more. What do you really need to return to yourself? To do things that feel good to you? Do you need more time? Do you need more money? I'm sure lots of us do, but it's not all about the money. Though I acknowledge it would be nice that it is a thing that we need in this lifetime, in our society that we live in. Do you need maybe a yoga mat? Is one impression I got. Like, oh, I need a yoga mat so I can go do yoga. What do you need? The abundance angels are here and they are listening to your prayers. What could you use an abundance of now? Ask, and they will answer. Maybe it's energy. You just need the energy to do what you enjoy, to feel good enough to do what you enjoy. And let's just sit with it for a moment. And take some deep breaths. Inhale. And exhale. And settle in. What do you need? And listen to the first thing that pops into your head, the first thing that feels good. What do I need? I need a vacation is the first thing that popped in my head. Maybe that's true for some of you too. Maybe you could really use a vacation. Just some time doing something other than what you're always doing, you know? Work, sleep, eat. That seems to be a cycle that we're on, many of us. Maybe we just need to break up that cycle a little bit. Maybe we don't need to focus so much on material gain. Maybe we need to focus more on emotional gain, on doing things that we enjoy, bringing more love and excitement and joy into our lives. So vacation, it could be like going somewhere else and taking a trip somewhere, but it could also be just breaking up the monotony of doing the same thing all day, every day, you know? I feel like there are downloads coming. It's like light energy coming from the cosmos into us. And we're receiving information from our higher self, telling us what we would enjoy doing, what would feel good to us, what would help us along our path. Have a conversation with your higher self. I feel would help for a lot of us. Whether you journal or you just meditate and have that conversation in your head, like telepathically, or maybe you just ask questions and you get impressions of what the answers are. Whatever works for you. Just have the intention of connecting with your higher self and seeing what your next steps are and what you need to do to return to yourself. Return to being the person you feel good about being. Return to yourself, your soul. That's what spirituality is about, in my opinion. It's about taking care of our souls, about listening to our souls. So it can be different things for different people. What works for me might not work for you, and that's okay. But return to yourself. Return to your soul. I feel like a lot of the anxiety and the fears that were there in the beginning are dissipating. That we're getting more comfortable with being ourselves. Connecting with the inner child, could also help. Like, what sort of hobbies did you have when you were younger? What did you like doing as a kid that maybe part of you still wants to do now, but there's also a part of you that's afraid to get back into that? Connect with your inner child and the joy and love that comes from just being a kid again, in a way. If you didn't have to think about your responsibilities, what would you do? I'm not saying to completely ignore your responsibilities, but if those weren't a factor, what would you do? And carve some time out of your day to do that. Or maybe on a day off, do that thing that you really enjoy. Do what feels good, what feels natural. Whatever just comes naturally and easily. It's really important to find a balance. That yes, we do have responsibilities, but we owe it to ourselves to find enjoyment in our lives too. It's not just about work, sleep, eat, repeat, That doesn't sound like a great life. Not a happy one. Just find time to do things that you enjoy. Allow yourself to feel joy. You're allowed to enjoy your life. You're allowed to do things that feel good to you. You don't have to feel guilty. And I feel like that's a thing that comes up for a lot of people, is this guilt. I'm bringing out the tourmaline, and we're just gonna vacuum up that negative energy. But you don't have to feel guilty about enjoying your life. You're allowed to feel good. It's encouraged. The angels want you to be happy. They want you to love your life, to do things that bring you joy. You don't have to be doing some miserable, soul-sucking thing because that's what you think you have to do, or because that's what somebody else told you to do. Do what feels good to you. Find what you enjoy. I feel like in the collective there are excuses coming up, but I have to pay my bills, but I have to do this, I have to do that, but what about this? What about that thing? What if people make fun of me? What if people do something? Whatever your excuse is, release it. Allow Archangel Michael to cut away that cord of excuse, the cord of attachment to your excuse. Okay. And that feels a lot better, that we've released that negative energy. But I do want to do another cleansing. Sage, it has ashes on it. I just leave it in a bowl. So it kind of just collects ashes from previous use. So we're going to cleanse away that debris. So I'm going to use the black tourmaline. Just have it right here. So all of the negativity, all of our doubts and our fears that were swept up into the stone can be cleansed away and transmuted into something beautiful. I'm gonna relight the sage. For some reason I have an issue with the sage lighting. Okay, I think that's a lot of smoke. Perfect. Let's cleanse your energy field a little bit. Get rid of any lingering debris that we're ready to let go of. So we can transmute this energy and release it into the universe to become something beautiful, positive, uplifting, so that we can enjoy our days. Great. That feels so good, and I feel better, and I hope you all feel better. And I feel like this was such an important session to have, because being ourselves is a huge part of our lives. I mean, we're stuck with ourselves no matter what we do. So it's important to be a version of ourselves that we can feel good about being, that we can feel proud of. Like, yeah, this is who I am and I feel good about that. Rather than like, oh, I hate myself. And like, who wants to live their life like that? So this was such an important session, and I thank you for being here with me for it. I thank the angels, ancestors, spirit guides. Thank you for being here, for each and every soul who has chosen to be a part of this session. And may you receive the energy and the healing and the messages that you most needed at this time, and feel free to come back to the session whenever you feel like you need to come back to yourself. I wish you the best, and thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.